Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We're going to give everyone just a few seconds to filter in. My name is Maddie. I'm with Michaels, and today we have Joe with Siser here to teach us. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat, and I'll read them out to Joe, and we'll try to answer any questions you might have for doing the project. And remember, this class is being recorded, so you'll be able to watch it within 48 business hours on michaels.com/classes and on Michael's official YouTube channel. I think that's about it. So Joe, take it away.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Maddie. Thank you, Michaels, for having me on once again. I am Joe with Siser North America. Thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day and tuning in to this class. I appreciate it. In the chat room, feel free to leave any questions. As Maddie said, she will cut me off and I will hopefully answer them. But while we're letting some people in, let us know where you're watching from too. So feel free to chat in where you're watching from, what kind of projects you got coming up, what you're excited for, to learn, anything like that. I know it's a weird time. We are here in October. We're at the end. We're a week away from Halloween. A question I asked the last class I had too, is Halloween 2020 happening for you and your kids or your loved ones, or in your area? Do you know, is Halloween happening? My last class I had on Michael's Zoom was creating actually a costume with mixing the face mask as well as a t-shirt as one design. And then I made my own trick-or-treat bag with all with Siser heat transfer vinyls. So I had that ready to go, which helped me kind of segue to the idea of what we're going to do today. So before we begin, my number one, my very first lesson I always tell people is how to properly pronounce Siser. So say it with me where you're at. It is Siser, like the salad. That's right. Congratulations, you got the first one correct. So yeah, we have people watching all over the place. We have Atlanta, Indiana, Michigan. What's happening in Michigan? I'm here in Michigan. Chicago, Texas, Florida. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Vegas. All right, sweet. So what we're gonna do, again, Siser, we are a manufacturer of heat transfer vinyls, as well as what I'm going to show you today, which is our EasyPSV, which is pressure sensitive vinyl. So it's a decal vinyl. Most of my classes I've showed has always been with heat transfer vinyl, which will require a heat press or a home iron or the easy press, whatever you're using. But what we're going to show today is more of our sticker type vinyl, like adhesive type vinyl. So in case you aren't familiar with that, Michaels now has a larger gamut of Siser EasyPSV. So the EasyPSV is one like umbrella of pressure sensitive vinyl. Then within that, we have variations of different styles. So I'm going to show you some of them, but what I really wanted to showcase, as for those that signed up for this class, is I want to showcase this very awesome product that Michaels now carries of our EasyPSV, which is our chalkboard. So this product right here is a sticker or adhesive, or however you want to say it, decal vinyl that is also a chalkboard, and it is a removable product. So for those that have been teaching from home since this pandemic and everything, this has been a huge hit because, again, you can use this as a chalkboard. So a lot of people have been using it for lessons, for classes, for stuff like that, all at home. But we're going to turn it into a fun craft today, incorporating a bunch of other Siser EasyPSV products. I did put glitter in the description. I'm full disclosure, I didn't fully know what I wanted to do, but I kind of narrowed it down in the last couple of days. So it may not just be chalkboard and glitter. I'm going to show other stuff, but I'm going to also incorporate using Siser EasyPSV removable as a decal or as a template to draw on my chalkboard. So that's going to be very awesome for those that aren't super talented at actually freehand drawing anything, especially on a chalkboard. Creating a decal template to put over the chalkboard. So all it is coloring in your blanks. So I hope you're excited for it. Again, if you guys have any questions, make sure that you are leaving them in the chat room, and make sure you are on to everyone so that Maddie can cut me off. So what we're going to do is Michael's sent me these awesome crates. So I have a handful of these. They're really cool. Obviously,
Joe, it looks like we lost your mic whenever you set that crate down on the table real hard.
vinyl on top of it. So I'm going to be using one of these. What I decided is, there we go. What I decided is this is a perfect crate to, is everything good? My internet looks like it's unstable. I hope it's okay. I'm going to use this as a candy crate. How about that, right? So this way I could just load it up with candy. I can put it outside of my house on my porch and people could take from it. I don't really know what the protocol is going to be this year for Halloween. I took out a second mortgage to get a bunch of candy. I want to make sure that everyone gets the trick or treat if they want to, but we're going to do it safely, right? Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, I already decorated one half, but we'll talk about that later. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my chalkboard in this area of the crate. So the big benefit of using the Siser EasyPSV chalkboard is to utilize a lot of the product. Now, you don't want to go overly detailed with chalkboard because you want more of the product to be on whatever substrate you're going on. So this way you have more area to draw or color or whatever you want to do. The rest of it is going to be all detailed with the rest of whatever Siser EasyPSV you want to use. You can place it all over. Now, the other thing to remember is the difference between a removable and a permanent. Like I said, chalkboard is a removable. So that just means that even if you put it up on drywall, you can eventually take it down and it won't be abrasive on the drywall like it would be if it was a permanent adhesive. So it is important to make sure that if it's going on something, you know which product you're using. Now, with our standard colors, just to show you, just an example. Now, with our standard colors, now this is just orange soda. Now, when you get a sheet at Michael's or a pack, pay attention to which product, whether it's a permanent or removable. In case you don't know, if you look on the back of the EasyPSV, it's going to have our name on it. But if you see that it has gray grid lines on it, on the back, that means that it is a permanent adhesive. Now, if you have one that has mint grid lines on the back, then that indicates that it's a removable. So all that information should be completely laid out when you go and look at these colors. Now, these are only for our basic colors, the solid colors. Now, a rule of thumb, I'm also going to be using some of our brand new addition, as I talked about, the glitter EasyPSV. Glitter EasyPSV is always permanent. So this is a permanent adhesive. So it doesn't have grid lines on the back as of now. I think we're trying to work on getting those manufactured, but for now it's blank. But just remember, if it's Siser Glitter EasyPSV, it's a permanent adhesive. Does anyone have questions on that part?
No questions on that quite yet. Someone did ask some detailed questions about the type of chalkboard markers you can use on it.
That's a great question. We're jumping right to it. I appreciate it. I only had these readily available, just regular chalk. I did consult with Maddie before that Michael's does carry a wide variety of different types of chalk. So you have chalk crayons, chalk markers, you have the chalk paint, you have the standard chalk. You can use any of that on the Siser Chalkboard EasyPSV. I'm going to use the basic stuff that's going to get messy and get all over the place. I wouldn't fully advise that if you didn't want to have a dust pile everywhere. The chalk paint is really cool. The only thing about it is you do have to wait till it dries. But the process I'm going to show you today using the decal template over the chalkboard is exactly what you would do with any of these other chalk options that are out there. So that's a great question. Okay, any questions? Any others? We're going to get cruising on the application. I would probably switch up cameras. Hopefully see if we can get this right. All right, I'm going to adjust that because we're going to decorate this top portion here. Again, if you want to do any kind of staining, any kind of, painting over this, make sure you do that first. Make sure you wait till it actually dries, and then you can place down your decal vinyl. Now, I have my chalkboard cut out on this. It is one solid piece. Now, you don't need to use application tape if you don't want to. If you wanted to use application tape, you can. All I'm going to do is peel the part of the chalkboard that I'm using. I'm going to simply lay it down. I just created all this vector art myself. I use, whether you're using Silhouette, whether you're using Cricut, you can absolutely cut any of these. I have my own vinyl cutter over here. I use a different software. I also use Corel or Adobe Illustrator to do my designing. But if you're in Silhouette Studio, if you're in the maker space, you can absolutely create the same kind of vector shapes. That's kind of what you have to determine. Another thing real quick that Michaels now carries are these awesome Siser art book packs, which are actually pre-made artwork. So when you open them up, all these art files, this one is actually a holiday pack. So it's got Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all sorts of different holidays coming up. These are already pre-made artwork. So if you're not art savvy, these are vector shapes. You can use them. They are good for commercial use. I did see that question. So those are available. We have a holiday version, we have a sports package, and we have a special occasions package. Ton of great artwork, all vector, all able to be manipulated. Good to go. Yes, it will stick to wood without being sealed. You don't want to seal the chalkboard either, because once you put a sealant over that, it's you're not going to be able to draw on it. It takes away from the chalk portion. But if you have issues with it sticking, all you need to do is place it down and give it a few seconds to actually bond to the wood itself. So what I did here is I created the chalkboard, and then I'm adding with EasyPSV Permanent, I'm going to actually seal it myself by just kind of adding a border around it. So you just want to be a little cautious on how you place it. Make sure you're good when you lay it down, because when you're working with permanent adhesive, it does stick around. So give it a second, make sure you're good. Use a squeegee. And the application tape that I'm using today is the Siser application tape too. So this application tape is gridded. It is a medium tack. So it is used for all the EasyPSV vinyl, and it is not abrasive on like drywall or certain types of finicky substrates. And you can reuse it, so you can save that if you want to. And then what I'm going to do is a quick 2-color. I'm not going to draw on this yet. I'm going to finish up my decoration all the way around. If you guys have questions along the way, again, please feel free to chime in. I'm laying this. And all you want to do when you peel this is kind of peel it against itself. So try not to lift up when you're peeling the application tape. Kind of peel it back and roll it against itself. And now in this case, I'm actually going to take 2 permanent adhesive EasyPSV and lay it directly on top of one another. Now I'm not using registration marks in this one. If you do use registration marks, you can absolutely do that to help you line it up. If you don't know what that is, I can definitely do a class on that later on. also important is, all right, what I did there is I actually peeled up a little bit of the paper backing. I'm sure that's happened to people. If that happens, then it's not going to stick. So make sure when you do your cutting, another helpful tool in case you don't have it is the Siser app. So you can actually download that on your phone or your template or your tablet. It's just look up Siser HTV, so Siser HTV, and in it we have recommended cut settings for all of our materials, as well as colors, as well as heat application. It's a very, very helpful tool. So it is very important when you're working with our decal vinyl to gauge and do test cuts and make sure that everything is good on your vinyl cutter before you do the full cut, because then you might run into some issues.
Joe,
Okay,
we did have a question on the application tape. Well, how do you know what is the strength of the application tape that you're using?
Well, the strength of this application tape is just set kind of at a medium tack. So it's one set only. The only thing you want to be careful is, I know I'm sitting here and I'm touching it, but every time you touch that adhesive, it does kind of contaminate it or weaken it. So you do want to be cautious that if you're going to use it, try to avoid touching the adhesive side as much as possible. But other than that, it's just a medium tack. I hope that answers the question. I still had some cavities in here. All right, so I'm going to do a reverse weed here. So I already did my masking. So what I'm going to do is weed out these cavities while they're on the application tape. Now, a thing to remember too, for those that are used to heat transfer vinyl, like myself, and when you use decal vinyl, you need to remember when you're sending it over to your vinyl cutter, do not send it mirrored. So you do not want to mirror your decal vinyl. So you want everything to read the way it is. Now, when you're used to heat transfer vinyl, you're used to flipping everything in reverse when you cut it. So when you lay it down, it looks correctly. All right. So what I'm laying down here is actually our night sky glitter, which is one of my favorites. It is kind of difficult to pick up on the cameras down here. I do apologize. We're down in my basement. And then what I'm going to lay is the same orange soda permanent right on top of the glitter. I'll give you guys a closer look. Here we go. So this is what we have so far. What do you all think? Check it out. So those are two layered on top of each other. The big rectangle is all the chalkboard. Now what I'm going to do is just start decorating the slats here. We'll come back to this and I'll do the last part. But I do want to show you kind of how I went about measuring it too. So what I like to do is, before I cut it, when you're designing, I like to measure the areas that I have that I can press. I like to give myself a little bit of a margin when I'm working so close to the edge. I don't like to go all the way to the edge. You can if you want, and you can simply just use a straight edge razor or something to kind of, make it flush. But if you did what we did, then I would kind of keep it a little bit within the area you're going to be applying on. So for example, here on the sides, I measured from top to bottom, and each one of these slats is about 2 inches high, and then it's about 15 inches to the length of it. So what I wanted to do is I sized everything to about 1 3/4 inches as my height. And then it gave me at least a 14-inch width, depending on what your design is. So then from there, I just adjust when I go to send it to my vinyl cutter. So now we can lay down our vinyl. All right, so here's another one. Hyacinth is the glitter that I'm going to use right here. Very cool color. Again, if you're on raw wood and you laid this down and you went to go peel that backing up, but it started lifting up, all you need to do is let it sit down or let it set on the substrate a little bit longer. See, that came up. So I need to make sure that that either sits for a little bit or you apply a little bit more pressure on your squeegee and then peel against itself. And then eventually that adhesive is going to bond. That's the benefit of the permanent adhesive, is it's going to stick to that substrate over time. If you need to use any kind of alcohol wipe, you wouldn't do that on wood, but other substrates that might need it, make sure you're working in a clean area too. Make sure there's nothing that might obstruct the bond between the adhesive and that surface. Okay, and the next color we're using a lime green. If you have any of that paper that might have come up, that might be another reason why it doesn't stick. So I always recommend, no matter what you're using, to make sure that you do test cut. Make sure your test cut is good, that you're not cutting too deep into that backing, because cutting into the backing of EasyPSV is a lot less forgiving than heat transfer vinyl if you're used to heat transfer vinyl. Blowing up here. Okay. My last part. All right, so another one with nice guy. I'm gonna lay down. All right, so check that out. Again, if you wanted to paint it, if you want to do that before. But as you see, it's raw wood. We're sticking the EasyPSV directly to it. What do you guys think? That's what we have for the candy. Now we just have to go and actually do the drawing. So that's what's next in lab. So I would save that for best for last is definitely the coloring side. Now, if you are talented, again, full disclosure, I am not. I don't have steady hands either, so drawing is pretty painful. Chalk can be a little bit of an arduous one to make anyways, but if you guys definitely use a template of sorts, this is what I recommend. So this is what we're doing now. I already cut it. So what you're going to do is you're going to create the template in your design software. So in Silhouette Studio or wherever you're at, the Cricut Makerspace, you're going to create your artwork like you would vectorize. Then what you're going to do is you're going to draw a box around that design. Then you're going to combine the two together. So basically what you're going to create is that the area you want to be colored is going to be your cavities. So that's what I did here. So now what you're going to do is then send it to your vinyl cutter. It's going to cut out that design, cut your box, and that's going to create this template. So this template is also very important to make sure that if you use that template option, to cut it with a removable EasyPSV. Doesn't matter what color. I just have a random color I'm using here. It doesn't matter the color that's going on because you're not keeping it there. What we're doing is now taking this template. Hopefully I got it all to come up. Okay. So you're going to take your removable template. Again, the removable has the mint green grid lines on the back. And then what we're going to do is you're going to take that and place it right on top of the chalkboard EasyPSV. Squeegee that down. Peel your application tape. Now again, this is my template. So it's right on top of the chalkboard. So again, it's very important that you're using removable EasyPSV as your template. Now what you do is just take whatever chalk. Now, if you had chalk paints, you can obviously simply just take your marker or the paintbrush itself and dab it in the areas, whatever color you're using or want to use. This is kind of where the fun begins. We're just going to simply take this chalk and I'm just going to basically color into the lines. Does anyone have questions?
It doesn't look like we have many questions. JW wanted some clarification on what you used to cut the template. It was just removable vinyl?
It is just removable vinyl for the template, and it's all cut on a vinyl cutter.
And Alyssa said that she thinks it's a great idea to use removable vinyl as a template, like a stencil. She's never thought of that before.
Yeah. So that's why I thought, like, last second, I didn't add it into the class description, but I was like, you know what? I'm a terrible drawer. Like, I don't know how to, I can do stuff on a computer, but to do it freehand, it's painful. You guys don't want to see that. So I think using this as an opportunity to kind of like draw in and fill in the blanks, especially for kids too, because you could do this and then let them kind of color it in or do whatever they want to do to add that extra. And I'm just using regular chalk and I don't have all the colors anyway. So
JW is wondering, how many times can you use the removable vinyl as a template?
Probably once. It depends on what the design is. And I'm going to show you what we have to do next to clear this off. Because once you do that, sorry, I'm coloring, my bad. The problem is taking this all off at once is going to be nearly impossible. You have to be able to lift everything off, including all the little cavities that are in this, and it's probably not going to work. Now, if it was one solid shape and all you were doing was filling in the inside and you could take it all off as one piece, then you could absolutely use it again. And obviously with chalk markers, chalk crayons, like I said, be less dust mess.
On the side panel, can you tell us what color vinyl you used for the green Halloween?
I'm going to get called out for that. I think it's the one and only color that Michaels doesn't have right now.
Oh, well, that's all right. Where else can they get it? Can they buy it on Caesar's website?
Well, again, we don't sell direct, so you can always reach out to us at info@siserna.com. I can type that email in there if you're looking for the specific color. Again, everything else, of course, is the one color. I just had to do it. The one that Michaels doesn't have.
Gotcha. I have linked many colors or many items and products in the chat, and you'll be able to go through and see what colors we have available.
Right.
I'll put the link to the EasyPSV permanent glitter sheets one more time in the chat for people to go look and see what color options we have.
There you go. Sorry about that, guys. Busy coloring. All right, I think we're good. Just to show you. So this is what the mess looks like. Again, I'm gonna get dusty everywhere. It kind of comes out like, you know, a mess. I colored right over it. So the next step we're gonna do is remove. So what you need to do is carefully, I mean, you can wipe off the dust. This is probably gonna leave a lot of mess, but you're now gonna just remove that removable template as kind of carefully as you can. Try not to smudge. Again, if you're using any kind of paint, like chalk paint, wait until it dries to the best of your ability, because if you peel that too soon, then you're going to smear. Just use the Siser weeder. Oh no, I smeared it. Yeah, this isn't like the most attractive because it's really dusty. So I definitely recommend wiping off any excess before, but you'll get the idea. All right, well, it's the best I can get on the spot. What do you guys think? So trick or treat, the template was able to just simply color it in. I know it's kind of smeared because that's what you deal with with regular chalk. But if you had chalk markers, you did stuff like that, you can definitely make it sharper lines. But just to see how easy it was to do that, because now I can set that up, put it outside. You can put whatever note you want on it. Got myself a decorated Happy Halloween. And just to show you the utilizing a whole crate, if you didn't, you were like, well, I can only use this for Halloween. But what I did in preparation was right after that, you could use the other side, Happy Thanksgiving. And then I decorated, same thing, did a little pie time, same process as I showed you with the chalkboard. Just kind of created my own template for that, colored it in the same exact way. And now just to show you, if you didn't want to use that, all you have to do is damp a little bit of a paper towel, and then you can simply just wipe it away. And what's left are the pieces of the template that I didn't weed away. So if you want to completely take that off, make sure you remove all the template. And again, all it is a paper towel, or if you have a rag, just damp it a little bit, wipe out that area, make sure it's dry before you go back. That's it. Now we have a new canvas to go and put whatever else we want. And again, full all the way around, 2 different holiday crate, lots of action, all Siser EasyPSV. That is the project. And then you get a beautiful mess. Beautiful. What do you guys think? Pretty cool? Just a quick idea. I know, again, we're yeah, you don't have to prep the chalkboard. The chalkboard's good to go as soon as you get it. I mean, this is what it looks like. It's just, I mean, you'll feel it. It's definitely a more of a rigid material, but it's very, very versatile. Obviously really cool when it comes to doing some fun at-home crafting things. I'm sure you have a million ideas of stuff you can do with the chalkboard. The cool thing is it is removable. It's also CPSA certified. which just means that it's safe if by chance it gets ingested. Obviously, we don't recommend eating materials, but in case. So yeah, any questions on that?
Looks like everybody had a great
Everyone's
time.
already got it?
No
Is it
questions.
enough?
Simple and easy. Thank you so much.
Tools used, one last thing, like on top of the art books that are now available, the Siser clip art books that are available at Michael's, again, those are already made artwork that you guys can take and bring into your software and manipulate them and change the colors, change the sizes, move them around. It's art that's available. The other thing are these tools, the accessories. In case this is one of my favorite. I know it's ours, but the weeder here, the weeder tool is a huge help for me. So if you ever want to know what I use the weeder tool. This pack also comes with tweezers. So actually for this world of EasyPSV, tweezers sometimes work better for people because without having to pinch the corner like with the weeder, you may pull that paper backing up. But with tweezers, you might be able to finally lift up that area and it might be helpful for you. So those are available now too. And all the products, except of course the green that I think I used was the only one out of our EasyPSV line that I showed you today that isn't available on Michael's. Everything else, all the other things, including the crates, including the crayons or the chalk and the application tape, all that stuff is available at Michael's. So I hope this helped. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful and very, very safe Halloween. If you're watching this later, we're talking about Halloween in this episode. But I will be back again with something. If you guys want to see something specific and maybe there was something I didn't talk about enough in this video, please let us know. If you do want to know where you can get that green color, you can contact us. It's just info@siserna.com. And you can just email us there. But again, everything, Michael's a huge partner of ours. So, plus this awesome heat press. I know you guys have seen that craft heat press. So if you're using Siser heat transfer vinyl, it's definitely a huge help. But yeah, we'll come back around. And if you guys want to see more, please let me know. If you want to see something specific, I'm all about it. So I appreciate it. Thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you, Michaels, for having me on again. And we'll be back.
Alrighty, thanks everyone.